I don't know, bombed out. I gotta figure out how to reconnect to a stream instead of starting it over when it bombs out. So that'll be one thing to work on. So, because I can't get back to the other stream, so I started this one, and that really doesn't make sense as a plan. So hopefully people find it. Yeah, sorry if you just joined me again. I don't know why it shut down. I made it over an hour. It was like something over an hour, and gave it disconnect. I don't know if it automatically does that or because I'm not sure on this one yet. It like half records what you're doing as well. So I don't know if I like ran out of space, but it disconnected. So I don't quite know composition wise what to do yet. Oh, dog. I gotta mute this so you don't hear the dog barking for a while. All right, people had the dog barking for a while, so I wanted to mute that. Still trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Making another tweet real quick. Second. There. I actually had 5 people watching. I'm impressed. Just want to get this one in some sort of like, smoke fog coming out of it, just to kind of push the composition and take away from, just a white background. Great sculpt on this thing too. Oh, wait, I'll save you some tapping for a second. I'll mute it. I want to do the effect like he's, pushing through the smoke and have it going around, but we'll see. Like almost, I'm trying to like blend it away so you almost get the effect of like speed lines where it's like kind of billowing smoke, but then when something moves fast through it, it like breaks it all up. this is a good little trick. You put like splatter on a layer, and then you go up to here, perspective blur, to the layer. Everything's going to focus at this point and blur from this point. So I push it back here, and then when you slide the controller, it blurs the particles like speed lines like that. So it's a good way to like put motion in. And I don't know how you can see, because I think it's only out at 720p, but you can see the lines in there almost look like speed lines. Doing the same thing with a darker color. Now I'm going to blur some of the edges on this. Like if this thing's moving, his arms, would be whipping back and forth and everything. So I'm just going to, first the tongue will do, because I can do that one a lot. We're going to use the same perspective blur. All I do is isolate that area, his tongue, and then I blur it out. So you can see now his tongue looks like it's a little more motion. Now I'm going to grab his claw, do the same thing. Sometimes I do this and I almost blur the back more than the front, so I leave the points really nice and crisp and then blur like almost like his forearm. So you don't lose that crisp sharpness, but you still get the motion. So it's kind of cheating, but not. All's fair in art and war. I'll blur this front one though, because it's in the foreground. It'll make it like more action in your face. Realistically, this should be cropped more. Like cropping it properly is like half of the composition. It's just getting it the right way. Actually, that looks pretty cool. I want to put a little of the purple back. Well, not back, but he's got some nice purple in there, so I kind of want to introduce it somewhere just so there's a touch of it. Don't really know how. Don't necessarily want smoke. So I'm going to try some. Just want to put some of that color in. So I put some of it in, and then I'm just going to blend a little. Some of it's too pronounced, so I'll take some of it out. Maybe it's like the color reflecting, maybe there's something, just whatever. I want some of that purple in. Same thing I'll probably try to do with his, I don't know what this is, purple, maroon, pink, whatever. I use overlay layers when I'm trying to add a little bit of color. So now I want to see what it looks like if I don't like that. So I'm just here, I'm trying to put a hint of that, that claw color and tongue color in. Just want it reflected around here. Actually, this one's not turning out too bad. Gonna do a couple more areas to blur. Uh-oh, muting you for dog purposes. Blurring some like behind his head. I want to keep his, whoops, it didn't move around. Oh, I want to keep his head in focus, but I want to blur his neck some to add, to make it look like the head's even, moving faster type deal. Now some spatters. I like spatter. Figure these things are running at you and they're killing everything and whatever, so it'd be like some gore around. So I just taken the same color that he has on the claws and that, and kind of pulling some of it around, like, blood or whatever, biomass. Put it in the air. Put it where he's running. It's a little bit, I used the luminescence tool on that, just because it brightens up just a little bit of it, so it kind of pops more. But a lot of times I use this actual spatter tool, or splash. I use splash. There's a couple different effects that almost do the same thing. And because I always get scared, I'll start a new layer. one last thing I might try. I might put a whole layer on multiply over it. So I'm just putting a layer of in multiply. So it's like a whole layer of just shade. It's just like a tint over it. But then I'm going to erase some of it out. And all I'm trying with this layer is I want more depth. Like the majority of all this is you're trying to fake depth because you have a lot of depth in the model, especially when they're posed right. So then you want to add to it. You know, you want to make the background a deeper, darker so it recedes, and you want to make things kind of in your face a little brighter. So let's see what we can get. I will take this. I'm selecting just the creature, and then I am going back to the whole shaded layer. So now the creature is selected, so this brightness, it only brightens him up. So it's not doing the area around him. And so then that way I get to make him pop more and pull him out of the shadow and yet not lighten the shadow. I just do it kind of loose, you know, I'm just trying to get the light, and you know, for these I want to, you know, call it done and maybe do another one. So I'm going to kill that. He's a little brighter there. And then just trying to see if I like it. I'm always like, maybe. No, I dig it. I like the speed lines, kept it simple. I think it keeps the focus on the mini. And I'm still not used to doing the two things at once, like talking and checking the screen and all that stuff. So it takes me a while to split my mental time. Let's see. Let's watch a time lapse. I think I'll end up paying for the version of this and get the watermark off. I think I'll use it. It's been doing good for me. Now that the connection's working, I feel like I can do more. Because it drives me insane when it kept dropping out and you have to reconnect and all that. And even when this one dropped out a little earlier, I didn't know how to reconnect to the other stream. So I'm going to have to figure that out, and I have to figure out the headphone situation so I can wear headphones, because the audio is probably not the best that you're listening to. And here's the one from earlier, in case you're just joining me now. We'll do a little time lapse of this one just so you can see. I was showing the composition on that one earlier. I always do these, like, especially like free paint over day, where you're just trying to get a bunch of them, done and whatever. But I always look later and I'm like, okay, I need to add this or do that. Like if I'm doing a commission, I usually just take a couple days and then I'll work on it and then let it sit, look at it, work on it, let it sit, and then that way I know I like it. I think that one came out okay. Maybe should have gone a little darker with some of the trees in the background, but I think it works. I didn't want to lose his photography. Now that people joined, I feel like grabbing another one. I might need a break. It's been a couple hours now. I like these little... This software is pretty cool. We'll check it on the game. Everyone's like, what game? Don't know. Make up the score, because there's a cool scoreboard feature. Empire 4, Chaos 5. That's the score. I think I could change the first or second. No, I can't. Not right now, at least. Scoreboard feature. Well, thank you for joining me. Yeah, I needed all this practice. I'm going to be doing this kind of more often. I need a lot of it. So there'll be more. The stream's been holding up good, so I'll continue to do it so I can get better at this. All right, thank you very much, you guys, and I'm out of here for now, if I can figure out how to turn it all off. Wait, one more thing. I want to play with these real quick. And that's the other thing. I can bring in, I have some good ideas. I can bring in the little images, PNGs for this, like this girl and the Roy dude. So, I can cut out whatever and put them on there. So I got some, concepts in my mind that I want to work on. And I love this little feature too. Remind me of like notes or whatever. So basically I'm just trying all this stuff out and get used to it. All right, thanks again. I'm out of here for now.